They make these Georgian pancakes. They're so good. And he was telling me, Chael, he goes, I go, tell your sister-in-law, Merab, come back from Georgia, make the pancakes for me. He goes, no, bring whoever you want. I go, how many people? He goes, 100 people, bring 100 people.
What's happening, guys? I'm Chael, he's Daniel, and we are both joined by Kamaru Usman, one of the greats of all time. Kamaru, it looks like you got all dressed up for a big show. How are you, pal?
You know, I had to throw a little something on, Chael, a little something on for DC and you guys.
Hey,
I appreciate it, guys. I'm good.
If you wear pajamas to go to bed, you're rich. Every normal man gets out of either shower, throw some underwear on, and go to sleep. You don't put on silk pajamas. You're rich,
Okay.
Kamaru, and you're starting to not even try to hide it no more. You're not hiding it no more, and it's really off-putting.
Nah, I'm not rich, DC. But I will say this, though. I didn't go to sleep at them. You know, because you put them on before bed to kind of walk around the house, you know, and then you take them off, go to sleep, and then you wake up and put them on because you're not ready for the day.
Right here.
So that's the trick, DC. That's the trick.
And if you had to guess whether or not Buckley wears silk pajamas to bed at this point in his career, does he even have silk pajamas in the closet?
Has he earned enough money to buy silk pajamas yet is the question.
I don't know. I think he does. I think he does definitely have pajamas. I think Buckley has a child, so you know that gives you a little bit of motivation to have pajamas. So
Okay, well,
I'll give him that.
But to have those pajamas that Usman are wearing right now, you have to have a certain amount of zeros in the bank account. Chael has silk pajamas. Oh, hey,
for sure.
Kamaru, Chael has silk pajamas, and his wife has singlets that she wears to bed. I'll show you the clip that his daughter, once his daughter showed us her mom's singlet one time for Chael P. Well, Kamaru Usman, you fight Joaquin Buckley this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, can I ask you a question real quick?
What's up, my brother?
You and Joaquin Buckley are headlining in Atlanta. Are we just reaching and taking the fruit from the lowest limb, Kamaru, to have two brothers headlining the most black city in the entire country? Chael, I gotta say it. Chael can't say it. And then Kamaru, usually when I start talking about black and white, Chael just goes stone face on me. But we got two brothers headlining Atlanta, Georgia. How good does it feel, though, to be headlining in that city?
No, it feels great because I have a lot of roots here, a lot of family here, so a lot of people that I know here. So, yeah, Atlanta is a great city. It's a beautiful city too. I mean, you know, you see all the greeneries, you see all the trees and everything. So it's amazing.
Kamaru, I knew that Buckley was a very good fighter, but I will tell you, just to personalize it, I was cornering Colby Covington when Buckley last fought him. The first person whose face I saw when I stopped out of that cage was yours. And I remember thinking in that moment, these two are going to have to fight. Kamaru Usman and Colby can have as much heat as they want. Kamaru Usman is now going to have to fight Buckley. That's just the way this game is played. I could see that look in your eyes too. How quick was it after that fight that you got the call that you'd be facing Buckley?
Not quickly. To be honest with you, I was just right after that fight. You know how it is when you're sitting in those seats. You just try to get out of there because you know they're gonna hold you up for a while. They gotta filter these people out, and so it's you know, I just was trying to get out of there. That's all I was thinking in my head. And then when I got home, I was still taking care of some things, and didn't know on the fence yet whether what that timeline would be if I was gonna fight or not. So. You know, it came maybe a few months after that, and they were, you know, I had a talk with the UFC where it's like, would you like to fight? When would you like to fight? And, you know, this was one of the guys that was presented, and this was one of the guys that I wanted. I don't shy away from these guys because I think as a man, we all know that it's those challenges, those real guys where everyone's like, oh, that's a dangerous one. That's the guy that could potentially do this. Those are the ones that are somewhat the most fulfilling when you go in there and you slay that dragon. So, you know, here we are in Atlanta.
Hey, he called you out. He got the fight, and then you guys come face to face the other day, and he almost fanboys in front of you, which is when you're the champion, Kamaru, and you've been the champion for a long time in your career and you fought at the highest level, the guy you're standing across from, while you respect each other, you don't have those moments, right? Where the guy goes, oh my God, I'm standing in front of Kamaru Usman. Like, what did you feel in that moment? Was that like a bit shocking to you? Because if I'm being honest, it was shocking to watch.
No, no, I wouldn't say it was shocking to me because aura is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it. When you're around Francis Ngannou, aura is a real thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
So no,
But I don't think I would go, oh my God, I'm fighting Francis Ngannou if I
yeah,
was in
but
front of him.
yeah, but Buckley's very animated and he talks quite a bit and he just speaks what's on his mind and no nothing bad against that. It's just that's just part of his personality. That's just part of who he is. Some of the things that we might be thinking, we might not say.
Yeah.
He's just gonna blurt it out. But I remember, there was a time where I wanted to fight at George St. Pierre. Well, I was the champion and I was like, oh man, I would love to fight George. I would love to fight George. I'm sure if that fight had materialized, there would have been moments where I would have been standing in front of him going, yeah, I know I'm about to do my thing, but it's
I
George.
stood in front of Anderson Silva, and I was like, yeah, I was like, it's Anderson Silva. I'm about to beat his ass. And then
What
I
you
got
say?
the octagon, and
Are
I
you
looked
saying
across
you
the
stood in
octagon.
front of Anderson and you did
I
like this?
looked across the octagon, and I said, oh my God, I'm about to fight Anderson Silva. But then I just went and fought Anderson Silva. I kept that to myself, man. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I kept it to
Exactly. So
myself,
that's the
Chael.
thing. We might think it, but we never say it.
Yeah.
And Buckley is just that animated to where he'll just
Yeah.
say it. So
Kamara,
yeah.
Kamara, will you tell me this? What do you get for beating Joaquin Buckley? Like, what is on the line in this fight? Is this just the next match? Do you see this as a contenders match? Why are you two fighting?
Well, it's absolutely the contenders match. I mean, let's be honest. If we look right now in the division and you say as a company, I need the biggest fight I can get out of that division. I need the biggest name that could potentially draw and make us some money here. What's the biggest fight I can get? And Kamaru Usman just went out there and reminded the fans who he is and just put Joaquin Buckley away.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fight for anyone that you could sell. And it's against either one. Let's say Islam and JDM go in and fight. You got a new champion. Let's say if JDM was able to scrape that one away, you got a new champion from Australia, and then you've got the former pound for pound champion that just reminded everyone that he's still here. I mean, that's a block where you could do that in a stadium in Australia. Or let's say Islam does go in there and get the fight done. Current pound for pound versus former pound for pound. I mean, take my money now.
Yeah. That's a little bit of a different approach because at the end of the day, your goals are your goals. And it's like to be saying, I just want whoever wins. Because tomorrow, as we get later in our career, every fight has to matter and lead to something, right? It's not going to be where you just fight just to fight now. But is it a matter of you not only beating Joaquin Buckley, or do you have to do something impressive against Joaquin Buckley in order to truly cement yourself as the next guy?
Well, I think it doesn't really matter. I mean, I've shown them, I've shown the world, I've shown the fans that I could do it in either way. I could take them down, dominate them. I could dominate you from start to finish. It could be a close fight from 1-5, and then I could push you away in 5. It doesn't matter. I think I've showed the fans and the company that I can deliver in those big moments, especially when there's money on the line and it's a pay-per-view event. So I think they understand that. I think they, obviously we said it's been a while since I've been in there. So it's a matter of going in there with the younger, fresher guys in the division and really showing them that, hey, this guy can still beat these guys.
All right, Kamara, we got a little thing over here called the name game. Daniel and I are just going to go back and forth. We're each going to throw a name at you. You're going to tell us the first thing that comes to mind. I want to start Ian Gary.
Bruh. Stop.
Relax, DC, relax.
Relax. We're a family program.
We all thought it.
We're a family program.
We all thought it. Ian Gary, I would say loudmouth.
Okay. George St. Pierre.
Legend.
Conor McGregor.
Mm. This one is 2 words. I would say ultimate entertainer.
Hey, Chael's putting names that aren't in here, but that's just I'm letting Chael. All right, Leon Edwards.
Brit.
Stephen A. Smith.
Brother.
Justin Gaethje.
Mm. Little brother.
Yeah.
George Masvidal.
It's like, how disrespectful do I want to be? You know what I'm saying?
No. I like George. I like George. I would say, dang, when I think of George, all I can think of is just super necessary.
Mhm. Hey, Bilal Muhammad.
Humble.
Kamaru, were you surprised with that fight between him and Jack Della Maddalena?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because when you Bilal was never like I know he mentioned something was something that kind of rubbed him wrong. Was never a guy that was like on my radar when I was a champion and dominating because he just wasn't there yet. And so when he got there, he's going to fight for the title, or when he got the title, immediately after he got the title, he became increasingly annoying with the things that he was saying, like, "Oh, you never paid attention to me. You never when you were the champ. Yeah, you were never top five. So it wasn't a thing of disrespect. It's just you were never there." And so it's just you kind of continuously started to hear him more and more, and the things were just kind of annoying. It's like it's not really how a champion conducts themselves, especially when you haven't been here for a while. You haven't been defending and really cemented yourself as this guy. And so when you hear going into that first title defense, you're hearing things like, "Oh, I'm going to show them Canelo hands. I'm the best boxer."
That was the
This and
crazy.
that.
Why were they doing
And
that?
I'm like, bro, just worry about this. Let's get a defense out of the way first.
But
And
Bilal's so
it was
good at
just,
wrestling too.
yeah, it was just how dismissive they were of JDM. And I've always kept my eye on JDM from afar. JDM was a guy that I thought was very, very talented. Yes, there's some holes in this game, but, you know, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And you give that man that proper opportunity like they did, he went out there and he put it on them. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I wasn't surprised.
All right, I got one last name for you, and this is a personal one. I just want to know where you stand today. Colby Covington.
I'm conflicted. Honestly, Chair, I'm conflicted. The one thing about this sport as men, and I know people might say, "Oh, it's violent, it's this and that," but it's let's be honest, it's the ultimate way that we solve conflict as men without obviously weapons and things like that. This is the ultimate way that we solve conflict. And what this brings about when you solve conflict in this way is it brings about respect, because if you have a problem with this man, no matter how hard it is, you go out there and you duke it out, and you're gonna realize one or two things. I can get the best of him to where my will prevails, and what I feel or I believe prevails over him, or his prevails, and I have to get in line and understand that this man is a little bit more than me. And so, having done that with Kobe twice, it's really difficult not to respect one another, even though the things that he said lead up and build up were distasteful. It's just really difficult not to respect one another. So I'm conflicted in how I want to approach that. Is that us having a conversation one day? Is that us sitting down one day? I mean, who knows? But yeah, I'm conflicted because he didn't look bad in the fight with Buckley, taking that fight on short notice. Like we all know, it was short notice. Had he had the appropriate amount of time to prepare, had you guys had the appropriate amount of time to prepare, he had his moments in that fight. That's the thing. I know
Chael,
everyone's dismissing him, but I think he had his moments in that fight. So with the adequate time to prepare, like he did for me, I don't know what we would have saw.
Chael still believes that as time that they were starting to kind of move in the right direction with Kobe. His wrestling was starting to take effect in the fight against Joaquin. I have two more for you. Chael Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen, Westland,
Gangster.
Oregon, gangster.
The Westland gangster. All right, last one. Hey, the guy you're fighting this weekend, Joaquin Buckley. When you think of Joaquin Buckley, it's the first name that they
No. No.
Oh my God.
Buckley, I would have to say young and hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Kamaru, you are the man, bro. I appreciate your time. Hey, before I let you go, who's the greatest UFC double champ of all time? 6 years ago, Henry Cejudo finished Marlon Moraes to become double champ. Who's the greatest UFC double champ of all time, Kamaru? Would you please say to the people?
Wait.
Yeah, I know you're gonna say Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes did different.
I knew it. They set me up. They set me up. I knew it.
Hey, you should have said who's the greatest male double champ.
Oh yeah, I should have said that.
That's my man. That's my brother, DC.
Hey, I appreciate your time, my brother. Hey, Kamaru, good luck this weekend. And let me tell you how you know you're a big deal. Saturday, after a UFC fight night, guess what your boy's doing? Sports Center wants a reaction from a fight night. That never happens. It's only pay-per-views. I'll be going on Sports Center to discuss your fight after your fight because that's how big a deal you are and that's how much it means to have you. And that's why it means so much for us to have you on the show. We appreciate you giving us a little time, my brother. Good luck this weekend. Have fun out there.
Thank you, guys, my man. Thank you. Good guy.
Good luck, Kamaru.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Man. What a guy Kamaru Usman is, man. Taking some time out on a busy week to fight, to join Good Guy, Bad Guy. Hey, he seems confident. He seems ready to go. He doesn't seem like he's cutting weight. This is a guy that fought at 185 when he fought Hamzat. Chael, it doesn't look like he's depleted, right? Looking at his face, normally the fighter's already like really sucked down.
And Daniel, it goes both ways. And what I'm talking about is it was very clear that Buckley was face-to-face with somebody he looked up to, with an idol, if you will.
Yep.
But it's very tough being that idol, knowing you're looked at that way, then you got to go put an ass whipping on somebody. That's a tough spot. Generally, when people want to be like you, you'd like to give them a hand up, not have to knock them down. And it's a real challenge for Kamaru. And we've seen this 100 times. And what it usually does, it costs you the first couple of rounds. Usually it takes you a couple of rounds to get going. And if you start slow with Buckley, there might not be rounds to come back on. It's a real concern for Kamaru, and he's got to get that out of his mind as much as possible.
That's the danger in that fight because the guy is younger, right? He hasn't been through the wars that Kamaru Usman has been through in his career. Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, regardless of the bad blood, these dudes took a lot of fighting years off of each other inside the octagon, especially the one in New York City. The one in New York was tough, man, going down the stretch. The one in Vegas was super tough. They both got really beat up. So Kamaru has to fight his fight to get through this young challenger. And, when a guy that has been a great champion like Usman has been, and they start winding down, you always feel like, am I watching the last time, right? Even in the fight with Hamzat, he came back, he fought on short notice. It's not something he might have done earlier in his career. Now he's got a full training camp. He seems ready. He feels like he wants to get another run at the belt. Hey, what was also interesting was that he said, hey, even if Islam wins, I'll fight him. Generally, a lot of those Ali guys don't want to fight each other. This guy says he would fight anyone. Kamaru Usman only wants to be the world champion. I just hope that we aren't done with the era of having Kamaru Usman. Chael, the other day, something very surprising came out, and talking about not wanting to be done with people, we heard something from Ali Abdelaziz that to me was a bit surprising, Chael, because you and I know, right? You get to play a card every now and again, but it's like a once-in-a-lifetime card, and if you play it and it doesn't go your way, it can go really, really bad. Ali said this about Justin Gaethje. Gaethje says he's hanging up his gloves if he doesn't get the title shot. The guy did so much for the sport, and if anyone says he doesn't deserve it, and he said, if I'm not going to fight for the title, I'm just going to hang up my gloves. Justin's a very principled guy, and he really told me this yesterday. This is what Ali said in an interview. Justin Gaethje retiring, how much does that suck?
That would be terrible. And by the way, if it was anybody other than Justin Gaethje, I would chalk it up to somebody trying to pull an ace out of their sleeve. It's just a little different when it's Gaethje. He never does that. Not to mention, you get the big stars with the high rankings that generally won't play with some of the lighter ranked guys. Gaethje's done it. In fact, he's done it twice. In fact, she's done it twice on short notice against the same guy in Fitzayev. I mean, I just have no reason to believe that Justin Gaethje would be bluffing. But if we do stand back and look at that division, it makes a level of sense, understanding that we have a title fight already signed. And understanding that it doesn't look like Paddy the Baddy's going to step right in there. It doesn't look like Art Sarukian is going to step right in there. I think Gaethje does make a lot of sense. However, if Gaethje gets that position, see, this is my problem with the play. If you make a play like that and you give the perception that you're pulling the strings of the UFC, you're going to be met with resistance and you're going to find out who's actually in charge. That part of it I don't like, but I do think when it's coming from Justin Gaethje, it's more than just a bluff.
Yeah, I don't think he's bluffing. Justin Gaethje's not that guy that bluffs, right? I don't like it because the only time, all right, I've seen it before. I saw it with Henry Cejudo where he walked away, and in most circles we thought he was walking away because he wasn't happy with the contract and he wanted to be respected for all that he had done inside the octagon. Unfortunately, the UFC kind of moves on. Henry goes on into life and still is doing well, but ultimately you miss competing. You come back 2 years down the line. One, you're not the champion anymore. You're older. Now you start to lose fights you might not have lost in that 2-year window where you could have been making money and fighting. Francis Ngannou did it. Francis Ngannou was different, though. Francis Ngannou was the heavyweight champion of the world, and he backed into bigger paydays outside of the UFC. But guess what? After getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua last time, those paydays may not be as available to Francis anymore. So now he's in PFL. And I don't know if what he was getting is going to be as available to him anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough play. But ultimately for me, I just hope that it isn't a real thought by JG because I don't want to see JG be done. Every time he fights, it's so fun. And the fan interest that surrounds the Justin Gaethje fight is as good as anything we have in the UFC. Chael, I would have been okay if Justin Gaethje was fighting against Ilia Topuria for the belt right now, because Charles Oliveira only won one fight to get back to a title, as did Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's needed. I really do think if you stand back and look at the division, that chip is very likely to fall right on Gaethje's head. I just think that it's a little bit of a problem when you come out and you start making those demands or saying, hey, I need to be, I'm owed something for something I've done for you already. Gaethje does get treated a little different. Gaethje is a little different. I'm a supporter of the idea. I don't think Sarukian's going to go next, and I don't think Paddy should. I think Paddy should have one more fight. That'll be a number one contenders match. So I think things are in a good position for Justin. I would almost like his position a little bit more without the subtle threat being put out there.
I hope it ain't true. I hope it ain't true. Chael, you know, Merab Dvalishvili beat Sean O'Malley last weekend. We spoke about it. We talked about his greatness. We talked about how awesome he is a little bit. But now it seems as though not only are we aware of Merab's greatness, it's starting to be respected in the rankings. He is now pound for pound number 2 in mixed martial arts rankings. One, do you agree with it? And what are your thoughts on John Jones being the number 3 pound for pound guy behind Merab Dvalishvili?
Listen, it pains me to put John at 3. However, he's just not active enough. I mean, John is flirting with retiring. John went on his own social media, of which he did not delete, and relinquished the belt. And I realize there's some tongue-in-cheek with that, but you do have to look to guys, first and foremost, that raise their hand. This is a volunteer army. Nobody is drafted. Nobody has to be here. I like that Merab got that kind of respect. You know, wrestlers have had it very tough lately, and now we're finally finding our way as a sport back to the top. The number one thing Islam's doing, the number one thing that Merab is doing is good American-style wrestling, freestyle wrestling, pushing guys in the fence, taking them down. I mean, I will just tell you, it brings me a certain pride. But in front of all of that, one thing that Merab has in common with Islam is they stay active. They don't turn down fights. Islam's last opponent was notified to him at 3 in the morning the day of the fight. That's when he got the phone call that it was going to be Moicano. Nobody accepts a fight that late, except for a true champion. And they should be recognized for what they've done. Merab has beaten an Olympic gold medalist and 4 world champions, and that is off the top of my head. Without even, it could be more than that. I could name 4 world champions, one of them twice, and an Olympic gold medalist that Merab has beaten all in a row. Yes, he deserves to be ranked with the best to have done it.
Joe, when we start talking about bantamweight GOAT and flyweight GOAT, and you know what's crazy about Pantoja? Nobody speaks. Oh, well, you can't actually. I was gonna say nobody speaks of him in the flyweight GOAT conversation, but that's a one-man discussion because of Demetrius Johnson. I just kind of forgot because he isn't here anymore. But when we start thinking bantamweight GOAT, right? And you start putting into not only what Merab has done as the champion, because he has beaten Sean, he beat Umar, and he beat Sean. He's only won 3 title fights in the UFC. But he seems far and away, to me at least, the best bantamweight of all time. Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley, and John Anik all agree. It's when you take into consideration all that he's done, though, right, Chael? Like beating Henry before becoming the champion, beating Petr Yan before becoming the champion. Is Merab the greatest bantamweight of all time, in your opinion?
Yes. According to the voice of the Octagon, John Anik, he is. And by the way, let me tell you how good Merab is and how hard Merab's rise was. If we go in line of the rankings and we just go to who's next, we got to skip number 1. We got to skip number 2. We got to go all the way down to number 3 or number 4 just for parity because Merab's already beat them all. In very reasonable circumstances, at least if we go by the rankings, Merab's hardest work is already in the rear view. His next opponent is likely to be easier than his prior opponents. And I think that's just a massive compliment to him. Not many guys have to do that. Not many guys on the road to the top have to actually beat number 3, number 2, number 1 to become champion. They fall, they stumble somewhere, they miss weight, they get hurt, a judge's decision goes against them. Merab's path has been amongst the most difficult paths that I have ever seen. And yes, if you want to talk about an all-time great, there was a specific form of Cody Garbrandt. A specific Cody Garbrandt fought a specific Dominic Cruz, and that specific Cody Garbrandt might have been the best 35-pounder I've ever seen. As a whole body of work, I would give it to Merab.
When Cody Garbrandt fought Dominic Cruz, he looked amazing. But then when he fought TJ Dillashaw, he just didn't seem like the same guy. And I think that's where Merab should get some credit, is that no matter who's in there with him, he always looks the same. So he went, once he got through Cody Stamann, he fought Marlon Moraes, who killed him. Marlon Moraes killed Merab in the first round. Remember, he had him so knocked out. Merab somehow survives and then finishes him in the next round. It was the most amazing thing, and he just beat him up. Then he beats Aldo. Then he beats Petr Yan. Then he just destroyed Henry Cejudo. Bro, I don't think I've ever seen Henry get beat in any competition the way that Merab beat him. The way that Merab had him on his shoulders, Jill, and threw him down, it was such a symbol of domination because of who Henry is. I watched Henry Cejudo as a 19-year-old kid wrestle against world champions and never get bullied in the way that he did, and then obviously he becomes the champ. That performance last Saturday was so clean that for me, it reminded me of when Islam beat Drew Dober and he submitted him. And I felt watching in the Apex, he's going to start finishing these guys now. He's figured out how to finish them. He's not going to just keep dominating them. He's learned how to finish them. And now he's finished Charles. He's finished Dustin. He's finished all these dudes back to back to back. Yeah, and I'm also going to his house. I'm going to Merab's house. Dude, they make these Georgian pancakes. They're so good. And he was telling me, Chael, he goes, I go, tell your sister-in-law, Merab, come back from Georgia, make the pancakes for me. He goes, no, bring whoever you want. I go, how many people? He goes, 100 people. Bring 100 people. I'll have my sister-in-law and so many Georgian women cook everything for us. I said, I'll bring 20, Merab. Merab's having a party, and they're going to make food for us.
And is it actual pancakes? Like I would think of, like, it's round, it's flat, you put butter and syrup on top. Is it that kind of pancake, or you roll it?
It's something else, Chael. It's like kind of in the pancake form, but it's more of a corn type of pancake. It's like not necessarily like flour. It's not as much flour. It tastes like there's more corn and seasoning in it. It's amazing. I went to Merab's house, and I tried to end the interview with him, Chael, and he was doing a toast with me and Aljamain Sterling. And before we toast with the drink, he did 30 toasts, Chael. Every time I would get ready to take the drink to my lip, he would say, and I want to bless Aljo, my friend Aljo, this guy I love so much. Thank you, Aljo. And I go like this, just salute. He goes, and my friend, I give this guy. He did it 30 times. We did a toast for 10 minutes, Chael. Me and Rob and Aljo spent 10 minutes trying to do a toast. It was crazy. Hey, before we wrap, we want to talk about our good friend Ben Askren. Ben Askren is dealing with some really tough things right now, health-wise, physically. Ben and I do a podcast called Funky and the Champ, and on 2 weeks ago, he was speaking of back issues. Ben had an infection that ultimately overtook his body. He was hospitalized in Vegas. Now he's been air med back to Wisconsin. I spoke about that a little bit the other day, Chael, and I said, Ben's back home. Ben is not back home. He's just in Wisconsin where he's in a hospital there, still trying to recover. We are praying every day for Ben Askren, his recovery, his family, Amy, the children. But man, it's so scary, Chael, how quickly things can change.
Yeah, this one caught me off guard. I mean, Ben Askren is the epitome of health. He eats well. He leads a clean lifestyle. He exercises every single day. If something out there in the air can get Ben, man, I feel like all of us are in trouble. And all you can do when you talk to the family and say, how can I contribute? How can I kick in? Amy uses the same word, which is pray. Yep. And if it's sending positive thoughts, if that's a thing, and that actually, I can tell Amy back with a very straight face and a solemn heart, we are doing that. We're doing, at a minimum, we are sending good thoughts.
Every single day, we're praying for the Askren family. Good guy, bad guy family, we need you guys to join in and send healthy wishes over to Wisconsin for our friend Ben Askren. Hey, for Chael Sonnen, I'm Daniel Cormier. Until Monday, peace.